What's going on, guys? And so, hey, real quick, what's the first movie that pops into your head when I say Disney Channel original movie? Alright, you got that in your head? Don't tell me just yet and don't put it down in the comments. Wait, because I'm going to reveal my top 5 favorites and I want to see if one of yours matches with my top 5. So, let's get into this video. So, some of y'all may be wondering, what is a Disney Channel original classic? Well, first, I may be dating myself there, but those movies were way back in the day, early 2000s, some even more before that, and I really think it helped make a generation of people who they are today. It made people fall in love with Disney that much more. So, I mean, you had the awesome TV shows, and they were like, hey, why don't we put movies in with those regular TV shows? And I think it just made them that much better. So, like I said, today we're going through my top 5 favorite Disney Channel original movies. Alright, so getting into my number 5 is Now You See It. And let me tell you a little bit about that one. A buddy teen magician enters a reality TV competition and uncovers real magic along the way. But when his power becomes dangerous, he must help protect it in this thrilling and mysterious Disney Channel favorite. So, reason why this one ended up being in my top 5 is, who doesn't love magic? I mean, I certainly enjoyed it when I was younger, and I really think that's what the people were trying to do with this one, is make that spellbinding magic happen, and it just feels so right for the time frame. And I feel like that's part of the reason why a lot of people really got into magic, is seeing videos and movies like that one. Alright, and moving into my number 4, you might be lucky if you've seen this one, and this one is Luck of the Irish. So let's talk about that one real quick. When Kyle loses his lucky coin, he discovers he's part leprechaun. With his luck running out, he must outwit an evil leprechaun to restore his family legacy in this magical and hilarious adventure. So why this one landed in my top 4 is, I mean, who didn't want to be super lucky all the time, just like Kyle did, where you didn't have to study and made A's, didn't have to really practice too much, and you were able to make threes out of nowhere like your Steph Curry. I mean, this movie just had it all, and I mean, I think it's really cool that it actually kind of dives in on some mythology of like leprechauns and the Irish heritage, which again, for me, being a school teacher and learning stuff, I think it was a really cool way to kind of sneak those things in there into an actual movie and, hey, actually learn things, which is kind of cool. Alright, so transitioning into my number 4, into my number 3, and that is Johnny Tsunami. Let me tell you about that one real quick. A teen surfing prodigy moves from sunny Hawaii to snowy Vermont and discovers a whole new world of snowboarding. With determination and heart, Johnny learns to ride the slopes and embraces life challenges in this Disney classic. And so, the reason why Johnny Tsunami ended up being in my top 5 is because, I mean, hey, who really loves surfing and snowboarding when they were younger and always wish they could? I know I could. I mean, I always imagined that my skateboard was a magical surfboard or snowboard. I mean, imagination runs wild. And so another reason why it's really great is I think it just helps kids at a young age understand that, hey, change can happen, and I mean, just understanding that, hey, as long as you're around people you love and support, that it can not necessarily be a bad thing. Alright, and getting into my number 2 pick, that is Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, and let me tell you a little bit about that one. Eddie loves baseball, but he also has got a knack for cooking. Torn between following his team to the championship or competing in a cooking competition, Eddie must decide what truly makes him happy in this fun, feel-good film. Alright, and I feel like the reason why Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off falls right there at that number 2 spot for me is because, I mean, I feel like I can relate a lot with Eddie. I mean, when I was younger, I loved playing sports and all that, and then me being in Boy Scouts, I also learned to cook and all that stuff, and so I can kind of feel a lot with the character of like, hey, like, sports is like the manly thing to do, and then like cooking was kind of the thing back in the day that like, you're a girl, you're supposed to cook, which I don't think that's the case anymore. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff that can cook some amazing things, and I wish I could be like them as well. And I really feel like, again, this is another one of those Disney Channel original movies that really steps people into trying things of like, hey, let me actually try and cook and see if I can actually do pretty well with it. Alright, so before I reveal my number one, let me know down in the comments if any of your favorite ones were in my top 5 through 2, and let me know why they're your favorite ones. And before I reveal my number one, I want to also give some honorable mentions of ones that were really close to making that top 5 but just fell short. I know Disney Channel had a lot of original movies, so it was really hard for me just to pick 5, but here are some few honorable mentions that I want to talk about before I reveal that number one. Alright, so my first honorable mention is Minutemen, and I got one simple question. If while you were in high school or even middle school for that matter, if you could go back in time and fix things so that you didn't look like a goob or dweeb in front of people or a girl you really liked, would you take that opportunity? I feel like if you said no, then something's really up there, but I think just like me, everybody would want to do that, and so that's really what Minuteman is all about. Oh, another honorable mention is Up, Up and Away, and I mean, who doesn't love superhero movies? And I feel like this one was really way before you got like the Marvel superheroes and even the Incredibles. This one was just a feel-good family movie that had superheroes in it, which I mean, for me, being a comic book and superhero nerd, I think that just added to it. So another honorable mention is Phantom of the Multiplex, and though this one did make my top 5 Disney Channel original movies, you might want to go back and check out my video on my Halloween special where I named my top 5 Halloween Disney movies, and you'll see why that one kind of landed there, but just kind of fell a little bit short on this list here. And so getting into my last honorable mention, this one is Tiger Cruise, and I feel like why I feel so personal to this one is it just talks about a kid in a military family, which for me, that was kind of me, and so it kind of sheds some light on different people who had different experiences with military family life, though it's not necessarily military because it's Tiger Cruise, so it has to do with like the Navy and all that other fun stuff, but you can still kind of relate a lot to it with, I mean, any type of military family life. Alright, so those were my honorable mentions, and before I reveal my number one, let me know again, did any of my 5 through 2 end up being your favorite, or any of my honorable mentions, some of your like favorite Disney Channel original movies? Let me know down in the comments. And if you've liked this video and stayed so far, I appreciate it so much if you do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe so you can see more of my videos. I would love that so much. Alright, without further ado, getting into my number one Disney Channel original movie that I watched countless times over and over again. That movie is Jump In, and let me tell you about that one a little bit. When a young boxer discovers a passion for double dutch, he must navigate the balance his father's expectations with his own dreams in this inspiring Disney Channel original movie filled with heart and high energy moves. So, like I said, this is my number one, and real reason why is, I mean, it kind of shows light that, like, hey, you could be set up that your family or your father figure really wants you to go down one path, but hey, though you really like that, you really enjoy doing something else, and so you kind of go off on that path, and it kind of shows that, hey, it's okay to kind of embrace that you're different, because I mean, that's what makes you you. Not to mention too that the jump roping stuff in that movie is amazing. May have tried to attempt some of those on my own when I was younger, and let's just say those didn't quite go over so well. Alright, so those were my top 5 favorite Disney Channel original movies. Let me know what you think about that, and let me know some of yours down below. And so with that, until next time, stay magical.